What's up, everybody? My name is Brandon Jarrell. This is Good Marriage, Great God. With me, as always, is my beautiful wife,
Kim.
Today, we're so happy. We have so much content that we want to share with you guys. Well, let's start with a cool little article that you were looking up, I guess.
Well, I didn't cue the music yet.
Oh,
When does that happen?
Well, you can roll that out right now if you want.
Oh. Cue the music.
It's you and me, baby, against all odds. We got a good marriage because we serve a greater God. Greater God. It's you and me, baby, against all odds. We got a good marriage because we serve a greater God. Child. Good marriage.
I love our theme music.
Me too.
It's pretty dope.
So I was reading an article on Good Housekeeping called "The One Thing Happy Couples Do Every Day to Keep Their Marriage Strong," and it totally got me. I was like, "Oh, I bet it's like all this like awesomeness about date nights and blah blah blah." And I'm like, but it actually, this person, Julie Morgenstern, who wrote this book called Time to Parent, she interviewed over 100 couples and actually found that the strongest couples did one or both of these things. Okay. They did short check-ins with each other each day. And especially if they were parents, they used email to take care of day-to-day household, like logistics and arrangements. And I thought that was interesting because, seeing that the strongest couples basically were the ones who managed logistics well was I guess slightly surprising, but I guess it shouldn't have been. You know, like when like all the duties of running a household are under control, you have more time available to be able to actually enjoy your time with each other. Yeah. Or there's no time being wasted on like, gosh, you say you're gonna do that, but you didn't do it, or things like that. If the logistics are already dealt with, by the time you get home with a little bit of time you have left, you can just use that time for connecting. Yeah,
for sure. I know anything that help facilitate conversation in a relationship, I'm for. You know, I know that's something that we used to do. I think our counselor, like the first time we did counseling together, that was one thing that he recommended, that we do check-ins with each other, like weekly check-ins, daily check-ins. You know, the email thing is the hiccup, I guess, for us, because like I'm just starting to get a good handle on emails. Like I've never been a huge fan of emails, never been very good about responding to emails in an adult timely manner. I'm more so like a phone call, text message type of guy, but I'm learning and I'm getting better with emails.
I'm not quite sure how you've gone this long, like without I'm having some serious repercussions of being
for the most of my life, like I've been in situations to where the people I'm emailing are in the same office or in the same building or the same room, you know, and I was able to like see the email and I respond to it in real time. Like I would knock on your door, oh, here's what you asked for, you know. But like I did well in life. It wasn't like it destroyed me very much, but I think where I had issues were like it was in our relationship. It was like, how are you living without these emails, man? You need to get your email game popping. And I feel like I'm doing better. Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are doing better.
Thank you.
You are. Another point in the article was that people who did that regular check-in were less likely to basically just inadvertently have problems, you know, that just like get ignored or fester and turn into big problems that could cause like rift in the relationship. So those check-ins, whether by email or in person, was like good for also kind of like nipping things in the bud.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, man. It is real cool. Thank you for looking that up. You know,
So simple.
it is. It's something very simple, and you know, it's a good way to, like I said, it's a great way to communicate, you know, and a great way to serve each other, you know. And I feel like, especially in marriage and just the way that we're wired, God wired us to serve one another, and I think within the confines of marriage, within the, like, since we're talking about marriage, I feel like it's almost a ideal practice ground for like serving. You know, I feel like people who are married should be like some of the best servers in the world, because you have the opportunity, you have a chance to practice serving. You know, and I know for us, one of the key things was when we discovered this book called The 5 Love Languages, you know, and it presented an opportunity for me to learn, okay, what in the world is the love languages, and how do love languages work for me and for my spouse, you know. And if you're not familiar with 5 love languages, 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts or giving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And you know, I learned some of these I already knew, like just off hearing it and seeing it at face value. I was like, okay, this is for me. I know physical touch for sure. That's a love language of mine. And I know words of affirmation, you know, and yeah, and then
most people tend to fall into one of these as their way that they prefer to, are most receptive to receiving love, if it's in the form of one of these categories. I think it's cool because it almost always, you know, I've yet to run into anyone who didn't fall into like one, you know, to one of them. And it's usually like another secondary one, you know, too. Like maybe like, you know, that your physical touch is probably number one. And words of affirmation is probably second.
Yeah, actually, I think words of affirmation is number one, and I think as the older I get, it becomes that. You know, the more I grow into manhood. You know, for whatever reason, it's like the older I get, the more I feel like I need, you know, words of affirmation. You know, more so than physical touch. You know, because like for me, it's words of affirmation says like, I see you and I see what you're doing, and what you're doing is valuable to me. You know, that's what words of affirmation does for me. Physical touch is like, I'm here for you, you know, and I care for you.
Like physically.
You know, physically.
So, like actually not just saying it, but like showing like showing it physically. Hugs, holding hands.
And actually I have more than two. I also have quality time is a love language of mine. I love spending time with, you know, and that's more of a broader one. That's not just the way I receive love with my spouse, but like I love quality time with friends and family, and of course my loved ones, you know. But yeah, you know, I think to some degree, I think I identify with all 5, but it's just some of those are heavier and they are more valuable. I see them as more valuable than the others.
I'm almost 40%. Actually, no, I know I'm at least 40% acts of service. So that's my number one love language, which is actually your number 4. Just 10% for you. And then quality time is both of our number 2. Both equally 27%. Like,
Bam.
Yeah, like, so I think that's something that I have to take advantage of, because that's the one love language that we share. Yeah. But it's funny how we spend that quality time is different because of our other love languages. Like, you will probably more prefer like sitting, maybe watching a movie, staying close, whatever. While me, it's like,
let's do something.
Let's go do something.
And then, let's do it. Let's take on a chore together. Let's clean the house together.
I mean, I don't want to do those things.
I know.
But like sometimes
sometimes you, like, if it was, like I think when we were painting your bookshelf, you know, or like when we built the coffee table,
Yeah.
you know, that was like, I felt like that spoke to both active service and quality time, because it was something we were looking on Pinterest, you know, we got it done together. But yeah, like cleaning the house, you prefer that be already done so we don't have to worry about it. And we can like play a game or something like on our for quality time.
Yeah, or you know, get something
right.
accomplished that's like something that we want to do, not like have to do.
Yeah, makes sense.
I actually think it's pretty lame that when all our quality time is doing things that we have to do.
Yeah.
Lame. But that's why I do appreciate like as much that can get done just on a daily basis, so that like when I get to my day off, it's not like 80% doing stuff that has to get done.
True.
I mean, you really start to lose steam in life when that happens. I recommend that everybody takes at least a quick like 5 love languages quiz, whether you're in a relationship or not, because I think it's important information to know just in general, like what your love languages are. It is applicable when it comes to like in educating people on how they can best show love to you, whether that's friends, family, like whatever.
Yeah.
But it is also just like the more you learn about yourself and have clarity about yourself, I think the better.
Yeah, and
I found it very empowering.
For sure. Like
to find out, like acts of service, that's right up my alley.
And I recommend that you also go purchase the book. I know we need to get another copy because it's good to have that refresher.
Yeah, I know. I borrowed it out to somebody. I think this is the second copy, actually, I borrowed out to somebody that it never made its way
Because
back.
it's that good.
It's a good book. It's a good book.
You get a borrowed copy and you never return it.
I think I'm going to hunt down my copy. I think I know who has it. Who has it.
But really, really good. Really, you know who you are.
You know who you are.
You see this video, return our stuff, man.
You know who you are.
Yeah, man. Gosh. But great resource. You know, like it's so important to know yourself and to know your loved one. And if you're single, don't let being single be an excuse not to do the research on like how you receive love. You know, because like you said, it's a great way to communicate to your friends, to anyone who cares about you, like how you best receive love. And you know, it just makes the quality of love you receive, like imagine if people know how to show love to you, like you're just gonna feel so much more loved, and it's people just they don't have to guess.
They don't have to guess.
You know, and like if you got someone in your life who's trying to buy your affection and your love language isn't gifts, you might as well tell them, hey, you might as well save your money because this isn't my love language. I would much rather you spend time with me. You know, so.
I think I have an unpopular love language.
You know, acts of service?
I don't know, man. And I don't mean unpopular like not many people have it. I mean unpopular because it's not deemed very romantic.
Oh, it's not sexy.
Yes.
It's not a sexy one.
Yeah.
Well, if I was a handyman and like I loved fixing stuff, if I loved like just doing stuff, you know, that'd be lit because
it would be.
You know,
it would be sexy. It's sexy to me, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think it's like it makes me feel like I'm not all that romantic or sexy of a person, like because I don't know. I think I receive love. I receive love more if you like go get the oil change in the car versus like a bouquet of flowers.
But it's language, so we gotta.
I guess who cares? You know, that's society. You know, that's society. You know, creeping into my psyche. I think of what's okay.
What you looking up?
I don't know the 5 love languages book, but it did just remind me of this book. I remember that things I wish I'd known before we got married. That was a good book.
What are some things you wish you'd known before we got married? Oh, I feel like this get ugly.
I knew intellectually, but I wish I had an understanding that marriage would be like a mirror. Because by the time we got married, or was about to get married, I felt very much, aware of myself. I felt like I was fully in adulthood and living life as an adult. I felt happily single and content, and then felt like anything I needed to work on, I have worked on personally already, and I was my best self physically and mentally and everything. And then I realized that I actually still had things to work on when I got married. And I was like, but I didn't know exactly that was going to happen, but I definitely feel like God was preparing my heart for that. That I was like, all right, if I'm committing to this, that means that I'm ready for anything that might happen, including the fact that I might find out that I'm a sucky wife or something. I remember at least telling myself that, I was like, I might get married and find out, yeah, you suck as a wife, man. I thought that the epitome of life was being fully independent, and that anything less was weakness. But then within marriage, you develop an interdependence. And for some reason, I thought I had a healthy view of what interdependence was, but I did not. So anytime we kind of started showing signs of that interdependence, I was fearful of it, because I was like, oh no, that I'm losing my independence. And it's not that. It's there's a necessary weaving of two individuals that is interdependence, and that can be very healthy.
It's definitely a
versus
dance. It's a dance. It's like managing your own independence at the same time of being interdependent on with each other.
But just navigating that, trying to figure out where's the boundary, because I felt like I was constantly looking for the boundary line to make sure we're not.
It's very blurred.
Yeah, it's hard to be like, is this interdependence? Is this just dependence, unsafe, unhealthy dependence, or am I just or does it not matter? Because it does get kind of gray. Yeah. And I really didn't realize that I idolized my independence. So that was another thing that I learned. It wasn't until I was married that I realized that. I just thought that I was a healthy, strong Black woman that knew how to get things done herself, and nothing is wrong with that.
And you are that.
Yeah, that's when I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. But then I also almost put myself up on a pedestal, a bit, not intentionally, but I think I kind of always leveled myself up a little higher than those who needed people, or were dependent on others, even interdependent on others. I pride myself on that independence, and that there's boundaries with that too. That can become an unhealthy view, and I think I was kind of dancing into unhealthy view. I think I got myself to a level that was necessary for my own healing from failed relationships and intimate relationships and family relationships, but to a certain extent, I started to take that a little too far. That it came I don't know, I won't say a crutch really, because it was the opposite. I felt like I didn't need anybody or anything. I was I need no one, and I was very happy that I didn't need anybody.
I don't need you.
I don't need you. I feel like I said that probably to you. Something I was you here because I want you to be here. I don't need you.
No, I don't recall. I don't recall. You probably just thought that.
I'm sure I did.
Probably thought it real strong to where it manifests as reality.
And then now I'm in deep. I'm in deep. And I do sometimes every once in a while tell myself, like, I mean, you don't need Brandon. Like, and I'm like, where's that coming from? Where I feel like I have to, like, remind myself of that. That, like, I'd be able to be fine without you. And then I'll say that, like, and I'm not saying it because it's true. I'm saying it because it's almost like I'm preparing my spirit for if you were to just, like, be gone.
That makes sense.
Like, but I shouldn't have to.
It's a defense mechanism.
I think it's just like definitely a defense mechanism of trying to prepare yourself, because this is what I was trying to avoid. I had no intentions on remarrying, so, like, the fact that I got myself into the one thing I said I wasn't gonna do again, I was like, man, now here I am, deeply connected with somebody.
But I told y'all I was out of the game.
Any point, the other shoe gonna drop, and it's gonna be like, ha! This is why you should stay to yourself, independent, single, disconnected from people. Because then you won't get hurt when something happens to them when they go, and they're not in your deeply woven into your life. It's not a healthy way to be.
It's not.
That's for
not.
sure. It felt healthy.
It's actually a trick from the enemy. Like, we need each other. Like, at the end of the day, like, God has hardwired us for community, you know, and to say to yourself, like, well, I don't need you, or like, oh, I don't need this person or that person, you know, it's really a lie. I mean, there's certain people you can do without. I mean, but I'm speaking in the grand scheme of things, you know, like you need people.
It took me, I feel like, well into like my, like, probably early 30s to realize that how important community is. But gosh, I just, like, I really was enjoying life and, like, just being, you know, to myself. And I kind of pretended to be in community, but it was very one way. Like, I would help others, reach out to others, but I really didn't let people do much of that with me. You know?
I feel like all of a sudden you got real close. Like, you're in danger of getting kissed in the mouth.
Hey, I'm not gonna complain about that. But I'm leaning towards you because, you know, my back hurts because I'm a woman going through a cycle.
It makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah,
it happens.
It's life.
Yeah.
For some reason, I safeguarded myself. I try to protect myself by, like, being just this standalone entity that didn't need anybody, and that's really all. Oh yeah.
So you wish
a lie.
You wish you knew how much marriage would reveal about you.
It. So
prior to getting married.
Yeah. So starkly.
Yeah.
It was really clear right up front how harmful that thinking would be to my marriage. It revealed how harmful that thinking was in my previous marriage, because both my ex-husband and I thought that same way. And I could see how my mindset like that would just drag us down and stifle our growth. What did you wish that you knew before we got married?
I was trying to think as you were speaking. I think I knew, but I didn't know, right? Like, if that makes sense. It's like you have an idea of, like, yeah, marriage is challenging. Marriage, like, kind of reveals, like, it's similar to yours. Like, because I came into marriage with, like, rose-colored lenses, so to speak. Like, I just like, oh man, everything's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? I already know the commitment level I'm coming into this thing with, blah, blah, blah. You know, I just thought everything was gonna be good. As soon as we both said I do, all my problems would vanish and will be good. But the same problems, I wish I would have known in my heart of hearts that the same problems that I had before marriage won't magically disappear after marriage, but in fact, in many cases, they would grow, or not really grow, but like
I think it puts a magnifying glass.
they'll be magnified. Like marriage is like a mirror, like so it shows you, and so like all those problems is like it's just put on blast, like right in front of me, and it's like, oh man, and those problems are still there. They don't really go away, Something that I wish I'd done before marriage is I wish I would have really practiced discipline before marriage, because that's one thing that I personally struggle with within marriage, like just discipline with following through with certain things that I say, the discipline of, I think that's the big one, the discipline of like, if I say I'm gonna do something, make sure I move heaven and earth if I can to do what I said I was going to do, and that's one thing that I'm learning and I'm striving for. Won't say that like I'm 100% there, because one of the ways that I grew up was like it was, I grew up with it being my reality that people didn't really do what they say they were going to do, and that's the behavior that I learned, and God willing, I can not pass that behavior down to the next generation. So, because
I ain't having it.
She ain't having it. All right.
Yeah. Not having it.
Yeah, so.
Not having it.
Yeah, and I think it was, what's her name? Megan Good's husband. What's her husband's name?
Not off the top of my head. I can look it up though.
But like I saw him on Instagram, and like he was talking about discipline. He was like, in your singleness right now, focus on discipline. Be disciplined. He was like, every man needs discipline. And I'm listening to him. I'm like, man, you in my house right now.
Devon Franklin.
Mr. Franklin, that was a good word, man. Appreciate you.
Well, wait, what did he say?
It was like, as a man, like as a man, especially in your singleness, before you seek out like a wife or anything like that, you should be seeking discipline. It's like discipline is something that every man should have, and that every man should be disciplined. Mm-hmm. And you should seek discipline. And I realize, and it's so true, because every time I set myself up to be disciplined, like when I stay true to a to-do list, when I make a plan or a vision and I stick to the plan, I stick to the vision, it works out for me. And like I feel better about the things that I accomplish when I've planned it and I stuck to the plan, And even if the plan goes south, I plan again. I go back to the drawing board and continue planning. Like it makes whatever you accomplish valuable. Like when you have discipline to see it to its completion. So, yeah.
Word.
One thing that really helped me with tackling my issues with my lack of discipline was sticking to, like, creating and sticking to a to-do list. There's this cool app. Like I found it in the Apple App Store called Focus Keeper. It helps to keep me like focused on a particular thing, because I have the issue of I start something and then I get distracted by something else that needs to get done. I stop this to do that, and then I do stop that to do this, stop that to do something else, and by the time I look up, I have all these started projects, but nothing's finished. So Focus Keeper is a great way to start and finish things. And even like if you have one huge project and it's one thing you're working on, it helps to, kind of break it up into bite-sized chunks for you so that you're not pulling out your hair by the end of the day. So cool, 2 really quick resources or things that I do to keep me on track.
Childish Gambino got Song of the Year.
Hey!
Just thought I'd
This is America.
popped it out there because that was my favorite song of the year as well. So, and first hip hop song to get Song of the Year.
And that's
Which
huge.
is hard to believe, but gosh, man, we got a long ways to go, man. But talk about just etching in stone.
Yeah.
Just the tone.
Childish Gambino is winning
year.
their life, man.
Well, I mean, it's more than just like about him though. Like it's like just the message of that song and just like how people quickly connected to it and even made like some of their own versions for other countries, like to just highlight the side of the country that just like gets ignored, you know, and putting it out there creatively, you know, the cinematography, the storytelling of the video itself.
And that was the win for me, the cinematography of the music video.
Yeah,
like even above like the song. Not this isn't shade at Childish Gambino.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not any shade, but I feel like to me, I could have watched the video on mute and it still would have spoke volumes.
Yeah.
So this is no shade, and you making it feel like it's shade, but it's not
It is
shade.
because I wasn't talking about just him and the song. I was talking about the video and the cinematography. And he like, yeah, because the cinematography, like. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the song and cinematography. So maybe that's a diss on your part.
No. And
Projection.
No, it isn't.
Yo, Childish Gambino, man, don't come at me, bro. Don't come at me, bro. Like,
No.
this is all love. You know what I'm saying? We went to see the Chappelle show, live in concert. You were there. You killed it. I love, like, your show. I love your showmanship. I love your live performance. So don't come at me. It was her fault. She brought it up. This is America. Oh, yeah, but don't come at my wife either, bruh.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for joining us at Good Marriage, Great God. Again, my name is Brandon Jarrell. This is Kim. Till next time.
We got a good marriage because we serve a greater God.
Yeah. Oh, also, we will have links in the description of where you can purchase the 5 love languages, where you can take your love language quiz. You know, and we love y'all. God bless.
It's you and me, baby. Against all odds, we got a good marriage because we serve a greater God.